Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I am reapproaching Mono Black, and yes, to everyone in my comments, you are 100% right. I should have got Hostile Investigator into this main board and been playing it from the start. This card on the eye test looks awful to some degree, right? We know that drawing cards is always better than discarding cards. And most times, for example, like considers just better than the rest most of the time in a lot of decks that they're in. But Hostile Investigator works incredibly well in this shell that we're playing because we are playing 3 main board duresses here. And a lot of times we've had a couple of games today where our curve actually looked exactly like this. We had a duress into a bat, into a Liliana, into an Investigator. It didn't necessarily work as like a 1, 2, 3, 4 plan because we end up sliding like I think a Graveyard Trespasser in there somewhere. But Hostile Investigator gave us so much value so often, and it was just so much better than Archfiend of the Dross. I like just substantially better. So we got 3 of these in the main. Very sick. Our standard removal package is the cut downs, the go for the throws, and the long goodbyes. These are all just removal. Honestly, I think I do want to trim one of these just to make Shoot the Sheriff kind of in here to answer anything that maybe go for the throat can't. But other than that, we have the 3 duresses, 4 deep cavern bats, 4 Lilianas, and Hostile Investigator, making us pretty solid against any control matchup, just hitting their hand a ton, or any other mid-range matchup trying to go 1-for-1 with us, because these all kind of make these kind of 2-for-1s, especially a card like Hostile Investigator. Enters forces them to discard a card, and then they have to remove it, which most of the time they do, and if they don't do it in time, we then make a clue, which then kind of replaces itself, so it's a very good value card. Caustic Bronco, I have 3 in here. A lot of times I like it early. I don't really want to see it again late. I think like the playing it is a little bit slow, but we do get to see why Bronco demands a spot in this deck. In one of the videos, I think, or one of the matches, we end up activating it, I think 4 times. 1 with a Gix in play, so we get to kind of threaten that value of Caustic Bronco being saddled and a hit off the Bronco triggering Gix. So we flip over a card, ping our opponent, and then hit them, and then draw a card. And with things like Karavak and Gissa kind of acting as our top end in the crime punishment, the Magic the Gathering card, our crime that punishes our opponent for maybe having to remove a lot of our things or just the lack of cards in hand, where a Karavak will bring our stuff back, whether that's duressing our opponent on their upkeep, with a crime committing type effect, like removing one of their creatures, targeting duress after they draw their card, and then duress them. And if it hits their card, well, fantastic. Other than that, we have the Graveyard Trespassers as kind of an unremovable threat that also benefits from all the discard in our deck, because the ward makes them discard a card in order to pay for it. So most likely our opponents will be sitting roughly at most 3 cards in hand. And we will be also in that same scenario looking for one of our payoff pieces to get cards back into our hand very frequently, or just something like a Gissa that is enough to stomp them out very quickly. Outside of that, let's go ahead and hop into the games. And if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Helping the channel grow is very nice. It's been growing pretty good recently, so I appreciate all the love for everyone that is subscribed. And outside of that, let's just hop out there in game. Opponent goes first, I guess. This is fine. Your Trespassers are pretty good. Mono red is probably fantastic here. Graveyard Trespass. Hello, sir. Please allow me to cast you. Graveyard Trespasser is pretty good here. Just on the fact that, like, they're not going to be able to remove it very well. Alright, we're Boros. Sure. Alright, go. Play your slicky boy. Nothing? I'm gonna play this one, I think. Could be a bad play, leaving my shields down. But also, like, one-shot me at 20, bro. I don't know. I don't ever put it in their favor that they're going to intentionally play around everything that they can. I think it's more often than not they have nothing. And I'm right. With 2 land drops to make, I will now play a little bit safer. human, I guess. Lose the combat. Attack for 4. Guess I'll eat that. Doesn't really matter. Could decline it, but right now, Caravac's nowhere to be found. Cut down probably not good at any time there anyway. Now, go for the throat is a different thing where our graveyard glutton will not target anything if go for the throat's in there. Sure. Alright, I get to play another land, which is very cool. And I'll move to combat. I will attack for 4. No targets to be held here. And I think my answer is to go ahead and play a Liliana and just start plussing a little bit here. I can let a Graveyard Trespasser go because it does still get value off my 1 in play. But my main fear now is that they go for it and they have a Lorenz escape and they get to protect their creature from something like a Go for the Throat. They just might not have anything, but at the end of the day, they get pretty close to finding lethal if they do. But Liliana can get around protection by minusing. This is a slick shot in the chamber. This is a Virtuoso down. So they've had 2 creatures. This is a great example of what I'm talking about. I can go for the throat this now, but I think that's a bad option. I think the choice here is to minus with Liliana.
One of your friends has to leave.
Oh, man. Do I just ride this Graveyard Trespasser to victory and just like play this Liliana plus on their hand? I think the answer is yes. And just like give them as little chance as possible to have lethal here. And I'll just let this Takenuma go. You're throwing a 2-0 lifelink. Yeah, sure. I move to combat. I attack. This will flip back to day. Takenuma's gone, so getting most of those out of here is good. And now if I can go for the throat this creature down, we get the win. This is whether or not they can do it. Now, they definitely can, because this entering, I will not respond to this. Normally the answer is to just respond to the Demonic Ruckus, but there's no point. I much rather respond to something like a Monstrous Rage and then force them to have that removal. I thought I was going to go to nighttime, by the way. Is this enough to kill me? I think the answer is no. Sure. They showed me the last card. This is why you wait. They show us everything. We remove that now, and the game is definitely over. They have to attack Lily, or Lily will minus, getting their Swift Spear out of play. And then I'll be able to attack with Graveyard Trespasser because it will flip back to day. It'll hit for 3, but it will then eat the Slick Shot along with me playing another Trespasser, which can then maybe eat another creature if the Swift Spear is in there, because obviously it won't have prowess anymore. But it's so-so. And our opponent goes first. Our hand is a little bit high curved, but having duress in the opener to start the game is a little bit better than having it a little bit later here. So fired off right away, especially with the blue land revealed. The Otherworldly Gaze. Oh no, I'm in danger. This is Azorius combo wombo. No more lines in there. Well, obviously we put this in there. That's combo piece numero uno. Graveyard Trespasser, going to be a good card if I can find it here. Have 3 lands, and that hits a 3 steps ahead, which is pretty good. No fear of the combo right now, so I guess I should just play the Bronco. Play this, play Bronco. only have to really fear next turn, but they also have to get combo pieces in their yard. Faithful Mending can do it. They're playing the one version of the deck, the one that plays the creature Abolisher, Grand Abolisher. There we go. Normally that's the version that plays Cavern. This is a one of Jace, and that is now in the yard. But they put it in the yard intentionally. A little confused on that call, but sure. But we can make things a little bit awkward for our opponent here. Let's go ahead and deep Cavern bat him. Obviously can't counter. Faithful Mending a little annoying. They allow that to happen. Do I allow the Faithful Mending? Do they have Rakdos joins up in the yard already? The answer is no. They're forced to find another one. Faithful Mending gives them 4 looks though. But they already have 6. But that gives 8, 9, 10 more. But this is one of the pieces just immediately. Yeah, I guess I'd take it. It's like weird because like realistically it's whatever. Liliana. Liliana's a good card here. Liliana can cause a lot of problems. And obviously they know how to do infinite damage, so us sticking around is not necessarily that important. But Liliana will be played here, forcing the counter spell most likely. 2 lands and drawing the top card. Okay. They do need a 4th. I was going to say, I would assume that means the land's on top. Yes, so you're good. I just don't know if you're that good. I mean, even if they top deck the combo, it doesn't matter here, right? So let's fire this off before they're able to use 3 steps ahead with a counter spell, plus they just don't use it. Okay.
I win. You're telling me what you know about the Raven Man.
Go to combat. Attack. And there's Graveyard Trespassing. The card that they now have to worry about. Plus, one of these Gisses can go. Will you cast? They cast Otherworldly Gaze. Okay. Someone will have to tell them that Faithful Mending is not positive here. There goes the Grand Abolisher. They keep on top. But if they Faithful Mending here,
Drop it.
they were to draw 2 cards and then they would discard a card. Or discard 2 cards and then they'd be left with 1 card in hand, which Liliana would take care of. Right away, Liliana plus. Sure.
Don't overthink things.
I guess I can close the game so fast. I don't think Liliana's in trouble of... Like, I'm not looking to replace my Liliana here, I think. I guess so. They have no piece in the yard. Where's Faithful Mending at? This one? Get that down. We saddle here. We now double attack. They take 2 off my Go for the Throat. And now it's kind of getting... It's swing or miss here soon. Yeah, I was going to say, it's starting. They got to start swinging or it's going to get real troublesome real fast. How deep did they end up getting? You got to 34 cards. That's kind of how important it was, that decision, whether or not to take this joins up or not. I understand it's a combo piece, and it's like, maybe to some people it's very obvious, but Faithful Mending, they still needed another copies of Awakening, and they also needed the other piece, the artifact, wherever it's at. So I was kind of just like, if I can prevent them from going super, super deep into their deck, maybe it'll benefit me, but 4 cards I don't think is worth stopping over taking just one of the pieces. We go first. We got Bronco potentially into Gix, saddling Bronco, attacking, drawing Gix, getting a trigger off the hit off Bronco. Is that gonna happen? No, but like we can try. With a sick hand like that, I mean, I'm going to try. Have a swamp. Domain. You don't mean it. Or Jun Calamity. Listen, that deck's hot. I'll lose to it. All right. Well, that is indeed a ley line binding. That's for sure. This one, I'm still going for it. They're either going to ley line binding Gix or the Bronco. You should do the Bronco here, probably. It's already been saddled, so I guess, I don't know. Kind of hard, right? This Gix is so good. Attack. Bronco triggers on the stack. Helix, never mind. Look, you didn't take any damage. Let's go, team. Is this target opponent? That's just each opponent? Ah, tough. Human rogue detective? I mean, that's not a counter spell, right? Let's play a card that they know about. To hostile investigator. Which can also saddle the Bronco. I know. Crazy boy. This Bronco is. Make a clue right away. They get rid of the swamp. Hostile investigator is just kind of annoying. This is saddled. I want it to be known that I trimmed one Bronco today. And this is the most value I've gotten out of Bronco ever. And I'm just like, of course, like the time I'm like, I only have 3 now. It's going to be the time that I'm like, sweet. All right, ley line binding just on main phase. Sure. I mean, nothing for Graveyard Trespasser to really worry about. I can't play Cavern, just name human now. Human? Yes, sir. This is pretty cool. But Sunfall for you is a lot cooler next turn. Oh, they keep letting me getting this trigger off this Bronco. This Bronco is apparently nuts. I don't know. If I'm just against this matchup, which does show up a lot more in best of 3, unlike where I'm normally playing in best of 1, the Bronco is more likely to get way more value in those scenarios. Yeah, there's the Sunfall we knew was coming. You could argue we should have deep Cavern Bat. I know. But I'm going to do that now. And then probably Hostile Investigator. Kind of depends what their hand is. Archangel and Herd Migration. I will take that Archangel. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now it is like, do I play Hostile Investigator? Take that away? No, I think it's probably Bronco. Oh, because then they have this, right? What if I just... If I just make it awkward and just play the Graveyard Trespasser. I like playing Graveyard Trespasser here. Ix, I guess. Because also Graveyard Trespasser is too big for this to deal with. They know about Hostile Investigator. This is unhuman, so Counterspell is still viable. Sometimes I've seen Domain play Counterspell. Not entirely sold that this list is. But I'm just saying I've seen it before. Also, with Graveyard Trespasser in play, I can just attack and then commit a crime. I don't necessarily have to wait to commit a crime. Sometimes, like, that's an issue. Okay. Combat. 4, 5. Felix. Sunfall? Yes. No. Oh. I think they're trying to herd migration me So let's hostile investigator here. Just force them to have it. You go get a land. Maybe they'll discard land. They'll gain a little life here. Starting land makes sense. Also, I like keeping Broncos in hand because they are... Okay. What do you have? Sure, that makes sense. Very possible this is just a land. Another cycle, sure. Is this enough? This is 5, 6, 7. It's not quite enough. These, I guess. But also, if they have... I just don't want to play... Oh, wait, they're at 2. Never mind. I'm stupid. Mass hard. I thought they lived at 1. What was their life total? They were at not... Am I tripping? I thought they were at 9. Did I just look at their life total wrong? Because I hit for 5, right? Which would put them to 4. I didn't eat... That has to eat creatures. I don't know, man. I'll talk to you later. Like, let me out. Oh, boy. Liliana, kind of a dead card here. But I think I'm fine with this. Swamp, pass. On a red, gross. Do I deep cavern bat him? I feel like I do. I feel like I do. Let's take a look-see. Yes. I have to assume they drew a land for turn. Right. I can't imagine they kept a 4-lander and then drew a spell. Had to be the other way. Phoenix Chick? No! I kind of keep pace with Phoenix Chick, which is funny. Like, I don't really, but like, I kind of do. And this is like the part, it's like, where do I go here? Because Liliana minus gets significantly worse. If this flips and then they play Godric, they can hit like Liliana. A Graveyard Trespass is pretty solid regardless. Or do I just long goodbye? I think I just long goodbye the Godric, right? I think that makes more sense. A little less mana efficient, but a little bit more just like saving my life efficient. Because it is going to hit for 4 here. If that's their plan. If they don't do anything. If it's just like they want to do this type of turn. Sure. This type of turn I'm way more flexible of just like, hey dude, I'll just shoot this thing. Play Liliana minus on this thing. Play Graveyard Trespasser. Eat the Phoenix Chick. Yeah dude, my bad. Take my 13. Very cool. Human here. Liliana. I do have a land, but it is a Sokuzan. If I force them to play the Sokuzan in order to Godric play with fire this so the Godric can go face, I'm fine with that. Because then I don't have to worry necessarily about a situation where this is going to come in later and put 2 creatures in play. When it's very tough for me regardless. Graveyard Trespasser or Caravac? Graveyard Trespasser or Caravac? I think it's Graveyard Trespasser. Hope I hit a land this turn. Get this Phoenix Chick out of here. Gain 1 life. Godric's going to come in scot-free probably. I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to block my Graveyard Trespasser right now. I could be wrong. But also like... Monster Rage plus like a Lightning Strike's pretty close to lethal. I just don't have a lot of action if I block with this thing. And I don't have like a way to commit a crime. Sure. Yeah, Monster Rage, dog. Wow. Okay. Still takes like a lot of my action away. We do hit land. That's very sick. Here's a Gissa. Now I need to find a way to commit a crime. Please don't tell my parents that I'm out here committing crimes on the interwebs. On a red, honestly. Oh, land plus bloodthirst. Sick draw, dude. Monstrous Rage? You force me to get this Gis off the battlefield. That's what they're doing. But this is only going to hit me for 2, so I'll take it. Gives me another draw to find a crime. I can guess that draw opponent. That'd be sick. Not quite. Not quite a dead draw opponent. That sucks. I don't know. I was really hoping it would be, but. Alright. Caustic Bronco. Instantly resolved. Gix instantly resolves. I move to combat. I attack for 4. I do not draw off Gix. Why, chat? Why? Somebody tell me in the comments. Why do we not draw off Gix there? That puts us dead to 2 lightning strikes. Correct, chat. They didn't have it. They hit a land and a Swiss Spear, which can't get through. But you know, like, you have to play to our outs. I swear I've seen Platinum 1 so often this season, and then I play a really bad deck, and then I see Platinum 4. So sick. I go first, and my hand doesn't look that bad. Very cool. We'll keep. I don't know, something about like Graveyard Trespasser into Hostile Investigator seems wild. Because like, if I remove something on turn 2, honestly, this curve is just super sick. If I remove something on 2, I eat it on 3, and then I make them discard on 4. Golgari, most likely going to have a lot of removal. Do I just play Blanco? No. I'm going to play the Deep Cavern Bat for now. Tiny Bones joins up, which is actually kind of annoying. Bronco's removable. Caravexin removable. This triggers a crime. Mosswood's also annoying. Are they going to go for Tiny Bones? No, most likely they're going to play Bronco, right? Unless they're looking to do Caravac. I'm going to take the Red Knight. I'm going to take the draw flexible card here, I think. This could be wrong. Of course, they play Bronco, so they go for the more mana efficient play, and I don't blame them for that. I play land. I play Gix, hit them, draw card. You just like lose a little bit of value when they play Airvac here. Sure. I'm needing that land and I hit it, so that's sick. So now I can play Bronco and go for the throw this guy, which is probably a 2 of in their deck if I have to guess. Maybe 3. I haven't looked at Golgari, like pure Golgari, in a while. Go for the Mosswood cycle. Little loose, I guess. Do I care about Bronco? I think right now the answer is no. If they attack, I block for free. If not, I hit him for 4 and I draw a ton of cards here. Like, are they going to block? Most likely. I can't imagine they want to lose this card advantage war so bad. Yeah, sure. I mean, it makes sense. Bronco's pretty good. The rest now does kind of suck. It could be good. Liliana and the second Tiny Bone joins up. Don't care. Liliana's significantly better. And now they just don't have a card to cast. They could play this, have a crime. Well, they could no, because then the mana just doesn't work out, right? Yeah, I'm gonna play Graveyard Trespasser. Get Liliana out of there. When they do, and the reason I'm playing Trespasser is 1, no removal in hand. 2, if they do go for Caravac here and then Tiny Bones, like this commits a crime, they have to mill themselves to hopefully find like an option. They should mill themselves, but it doesn't matter because there's nothing in there right now. They do mill over Liliana, which is really good. No draw, nothing. Okay. I think the Could be wrong. I think they're probably going to lose the game here. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to attack again here. Exiling this, gaining that life, hitting, and I'm probably going to look to draw 3 here and hold up my go for the throat. And just like that, we're able to like outvalue Golgari. Do I think that they played their hand a little awkwardly? Kind of. I think they played this first, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously, second Tiny Bones is also not good. But I took this Mosswood away, and they played a Bronco. My thought process was like kind of just barreling it in, maybe, to find a card. Because you have to find removal, and I think just drawing is tough. And that's what they use this for, which is why I end up taking the first one to begin with, because their hand couldn't deal with anything. So I'm just going to use my value on my creatures to outvalue them earlier than they're going to do it to me. So very cool. We come away with the win. On to the next one. We go first and have to rest into bat into potentially Liliana. Man, do we hate our opponent's hand or what? And they maul again. No reason. No reason. Ooh, and it's prowess. I'm taking Kamano. I can cut down this little Uther, but they can't even play Uther. Alright. I almost named horse. That's not what I want. I want to play a bat here. I want to look. Ooh, did you draw a play with fire? Or is this just a pause on a monstrous rage? Could be both. Could be neither. Or it is I mulligan, and of course I'm playing a discard deck. That might be it. No blue to play the Otter. And Monstrous Rage is good, but I think Lightning Strike answering my bat is also tough. So I'll just take my odds. Would you like to Monstrous Rage my Deep Cavern bat? No? Okay. Red land. Flick shot. Okay. That's tough. That's tough. Not a fan. Not a fan. They have instant speed, but sorcery speed as well. So I just saved Liliana. Like, I'm going to get hit for a ton here, but regardless. Do this. Hit. Maybe they find blue source here as well. No. Sure. Idea should be Audacity, hold up this in order to respond with cut down. But I think it's too large anyway now. Yeah, cut down's not going to be good enough. Sure. They're all in. They'll hit me for 12, and I'll say good job, opponent. Slick shot decks, man. They're crazy.
Personal space?
I'm in there. Fun. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we have cut down, of course. If they do find an island, it means last card in their hand probably sucks. And they concede. Okay, that makes sense. A mulligan into the discard deck is definitely not where you want to be. But, hey, at the end of the day, someone had to do it, and it's just us. Okay, chat, I'll admit it. You were right. Hostile Investigator, absolutely gas. This card, nuts. I love this card so much today because the way our hands curved out, it made it so much better than Archfiend. Archfiend is just so alluring whenever you're like, oh, I'm against Convoke. So now every time I kill a creature, I gain some of my life back, and I also lose life. And then if I'm able to kind of do things with the Punisher here to kind of like, not necessarily combo off, but like cut down a thing, then go for the third thing with Archfiend in play. I kind of negate this life loss, but also hit them for 4 with Archfiend in the air. And it gets pretty dangerous pretty quickly. But this was just so much better on so many curves of Duress you, Deep Cavern Bat you, Liliana plus you, Hostile Investigator. And the clue tokens are nuts most of the time. A lot of Mono Black's issues are the fact that we cannot keep cards in our hand most of the time, or we get to just playing Gissa and we're in that top deck mode. Or if we do have one of these in play, obviously we can kind of trigger some way to do it. But a card, I kind of kept the sideboard around from when I got the list, but the card I trimmed on was the Bronco, and then the Bronco decided today was the day to show me that it actually had value. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, every time I've ever played a Caustic Bronco, I think I've saddled it, attacked one time, hit a land, and then never had value in this card ever. But today, it was like, okay, you're going to saddle it 4 times in one match, and it's going to shoot your opponent for 12, I think, is the end number that it hit, which was super cool. Very sick. I love that a lot, actually. But this deck's just sick. I love this deck. This deck's so cool. Now, can you get outvalued sometimes? Yes. Is control a little bit troublesome? Kind of. At times, but realistically against control, we should have pretty good odds on the fact that we're putting the hostile investigators in. We have cards to draw us cards. We have ways to constantly interact with them. The only way we really lose to them is like Memory Deluge. Memory Deluge is obviously really good, but then we even have the sneaky Graveyard Trespasser to then exile Memory Deluge from their yard. So it really is just a one-time use and not a 2-time. Grab 4 cards in total, which is definitely hard for us to deal with at times, because obviously the problem with control is that these cards, for the most part over here, are just dead. So if we have too many of these in our opener or too many along the way, obviously we can discard them to Liliana, but we have to get a Liliana to resolve. But most likely our other creatures will resolve because we do have 4 caverns. So control is not necessarily as bad as it seems, but it can be kind of awful. Also, just sometimes playing against control just feels awful in general. But other than that, I think the deck explained itself pretty much as best it could in our matchups. I don't know what else we would really need to see or talk about that this deck didn't really show off as much, because we saw Karavak kind of be a threat, but Karavak, everybody knows, is pretty good and pretty worth a couple of slots in the deck. But Gix showed why it's a one of in the matchups where it does get played and then you do make a couple of connections with your opponent. It's so good. The turn we had like the Gix into the Bronco, Jeff's kiss, man. Like, just mono blacks, like, I'm going to draw 2 cards and one of these shoots you for damage based on what the top card is. It's very, very cool. So outside that, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.